welcome to our week
4
edition. We have something extra special prepared for you this week because in the past, people were asking us for more pictures, more videos, and thanks for bearing with us, for being patient because it's all very new for us. But this week, we decided to put together a PowerPoint presentation. And for those of you who didn't know this already about Ashton, this is something that he would do over the last few years for his work colleagues. Anytime we'd go on vacation, he'd come back and create a PowerPoint presentation for everyone.
Or presented in French class.
Yeah, exactly. So if you want a French version, you can hit him up later. All right. So here is our week 4 update.
So we stayed in a place called Kagurazaka. It's known as Little France, near Itabashi Station. Absolutely fantastic place to stay. It's think of one large street that you can see in both pictures, going uphill, tons of stores on either side, and it was known as an area for geishas way back when, and there are still some restaurants that cater to people dressing up in that style and presenting a more formal dinner that way, as well as so many side streets to explore. So it was a lot of fun to just learn something new every day.
So this is the place that we were staying at. We actually really enjoyed it. In fact, we extended our stay an additional week, which we hadn't anticipated, but you know, go with the flow, right?
Yeah.
So it was small and quaint, but it suited our purposes. As we mentioned, Itabashi and Kagaruzaka. Do I get that right? Is centrally located and it's accessible to so many different places. So
many different areas, yeah.
So many different areas. So
easy by rail.
We just loved it and stayed a little bit longer. Okay, this week was extra special because we got to meet up with a couple of friends. So Asuka, I met in university, in undergrad, around 8 years ago, and she was doing an exchange program where she was in Canada for a full year. So it was just really special to meet up with her and meet her wonderful husband as well.
We met up with Imka, a dear friend's sister, and so it was a really fun experience spending the day with her. She works as a concierge. She's been living in Japan for over 10 years, and due to her work, she's able to really show us around. She's really informative and resourceful, and we had a lot of fun.
Yeah, really, really great. And then we visited a number of shrines. So this was the Meiji Shrine near Harajuku, and we were able to witness a traditional wedding, which our understanding is quite rare to see. So we were very humbled to be able to witness that, everyone in traditional attire. It was a really great experience.
Yeah, and then we stopped by the Monster Cafe. So think of it kind of like a Willy Wonka topsy-turvy world where everything's very animated, everyone's dressed up.
Yeah, and then there was a fun birthday party. There were all of these little children running around, right? But also there were adults as well. Yeah, there was a show going on. And among all of these children, they were looking for a volunteer, someone to come up. And one of the workers came up and grabbed Ashton. It was a lot of fun there.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So here we visited a couple temples. We also visited a bamboo garden. It was magnificent just because it was so calming and relaxing, and just seeing the bamboo everywhere is a beautiful sight.
Now, it was quite a rainy day that day.
Yeah, as you can see.
But actually it worked to our benefit because most of the time these places are very busy. They're quite populated, and so because it was raining, there was hardly anyone in sight. In fact, the people were telling us, "Thank you so much for coming today." So it was great. We had the whole garden to ourselves. We got to have some tea, got to look around at different tombs. It was
and just take in the atmosphere, which was quite nice.
Yeah.
Here we have in Kamakura a big Buddha, so just a magnificent statue. I think it's made out of bronze, and just you turn the corner and you see this thing, and it's just absolutely gigantic and stunning. And it just takes your breath away.
We didn't expect it to be that large. I mean, of course, the title is Big Buddha, but it's just you round the corner and you're not knowing what to expect. But as soon as we turned that corner, it was just so majestic. And as you can see in the picture here, it was along the same as the tree line. So we just didn't expect it to be that large. It was quite breathtaking.
And so here we have, we stopped at the Metropolitan Tokyo building office. So a lot of the Tokyo office workers on behalf of the city work there. And then in the background, you could see Skytree on the left slide, and we were able to take in the sunset, which was gorgeous.
Yeah, it's really great. We also made a visit to the Imperial Palace, where we got to roam around the gardens, take in the sights, and also see the residence of the current emperor, although we weren't admitted in, of course.
Yeah, and the old palace, Edo Palace, when the capital was moved to Tokyo, used to be there, and so we saw where the foundations were.
Right. And while we were in the gardens, we were able to see different trees, different plants that were in bloom. Now, cherry blossom season is coming up. It's in a week or two. And so we weren't able to see all of the cherry blossoms, but we do think that we found an early bloomer. We're not 100% certain that these are cherry blossoms, but there was a large crowd gathered around because it was the one tree that had blossomed like this. So we suspect that it's a cherry blossom, but maybe someone else can confirm. There are different types of blossoms, and as I said, they should be in the next week or two.
And people are extremely excited by seeing it and taking pictures with it.
Yeah, exactly.
And here is Asakusa, and so it's a 7th century Buddhist temple near the heart of Tokyo, and so it has two main gates, as you can see there. That's Hozamon, the inner gate, and it also has Nakamise Shopping Street. Probably said that wrong, but known during the Edo period to be like the main street between the two gates, and it still has a feel of what it would be like to be in that time period with all the little shops, like markets, and you have all these tasty treats and little items for sale.
And what I really liked seeing were all of the women just dressed up in old attire. So actually they have different shops for rentals with a lot of these different temples. So they can just rent for the day, and actually most of them will provide a service where they'll actually do up the women's hair and everything as well, tie it for them. And so they make a day out of it. There are also different pilgrimages that take place here as well. And finally, the food. Okay, so we've been tasting some delicious food. On the left-hand side here, you can see this is Okonomiyaki, and it's a Japanese pancake where you can put an assortment of different ingredients into it. Then you just fry it up on a table or a different pan, and you top it with some mayonnaise and then also some different fish flakes. So that was really exciting to have.
Of course, we've been spoiled with the sushi and sashimi.
Yeah.
There we had some food from the Monster Cafe. And of course, we've been having lots and lots of ramen.
Really good ramen.
Yeah. So we did get to go to Tokyo Station and tried out I think one of the best places for ramen. Had it the two ways, Tangatsu and then traditional. And so it's really interesting because at both airports as well as train stations, some of the best foods there. And very low price, so less than $10.
But I mean, the lineups can go up to 2 hours at any given time. We were lucky; it was only a half-hour wait for us, and that was at
one place,
3 p.m. Yeah. So people were still going there for a late lunch, and it still had a very long lineup, and people were moving quickly, right? But it just constantly had that crowd. Over here on the right, Ashton had that dish, and you actually dip the noodles into the soup before you eat it.
And it was absolutely delicious, and we've been enjoying all the food here so far.
Yeah, so that concludes our week 4 edition. We welcome any feedback. We tried something different, so if you are looking for different structures or whatever, just let us know. We're having a lot of fun with this. We hope you are too, and we'll tune in soon.
See you next week.
Bye. This week, what was really fun and different was that we got to that's my mole hair.